Invincibility frames, or iframes, are what the game uses to make sure you don't take damage too quickly. After getting hit, there's a brief period of time where you can't take damage again. You'll get 40 iframes for everything, which is 2/3 of a second, unless the attack only did 1 damage, in which case you only get 20. If this didn't happen, you'd get hit every single frame that an enemy was in your hitbox. You'd probably instantly die against most enemies. But we can exploit this immunity system. If you create a situation where you're constantly taking a small amount of damage, you'll receive iframes that stop you from taking the big amounts of damage. This can be as simple as just standing on top of a slime. That's what I did during the accessories only challenge using statues. But the problem is that's inconsistent. You'll still get hit sometimes by the regular attacks. So, instead, we're going to use fall damage because it ignores iframes, but it still causes them. This design was made by Quasar, the same person that helped with the money farm. I did not come up with this idea, and you should be sure to thank them if you're over on the Terraria Discord. It's an improved version of a setup that's existed for quite a while. This specific design only works on PC, so if you're on console or mobile, check later in the video for how to do this. Fall damage does 10 damage at minimum, so we'll need to have a little defense to reduce that to 1. 9 points on Master Mode, 11 on Expert, and 17 on Classic. If we make sure that we take fall damage every 20 frames, then we'll take 1 point of fall damage, have 19 frames of invincibility, and then take damage on the 20th frame and get 20 more. Since the fall damage is triggering during the iframes, there's never a point where you can be hit. It's a little bit headache-inducing to watch, but this is what that looks like. Build this exactly as shown here, following the block guide for how to hammer things. On the right side, you'll need to hammer each of these platforms 3 times in addition to the blocks, and you're going to have to block swap platforms onto all of the non-green hammered blocks after you hammer them. That creates a special kind of hoik. This platform here is not hammered. Before hammering it, it'll look like this. After hammering it, it'll look like this, and after block swapping, it'll look like this. To enter the invincibility machine, press down on one of these platforms here. Holding down or grappling will let you leave it. Using this machine, you'll be taking 3 damage per second, which means you need to have a little bit of HP regen to do it indefinitely. Without enough regeneration, you'll gradually lose HP and you'll need to use some healing potions. A campfire, heart lantern, band of regeneration, and some honey on the bottom is enough to do that. Use 3 buckets of honey to fill the bottom area. And now you're set. You're effectively invincible. You do still need to deal damage though, and I'd highly recommend the Star Cloak. On Master Mode, with the Star Cloak, you can kill all 3 mech bosses at the same time 3 times in the same night and still have a minute to spare afterwards. The Fetid Bagnax and any similar weapon are also quite good, as are weapons like the Daedalus Stormbow, Meteor Staff, pretty much any summoning weapon, and anything that goes through blocks. Projectile weapons are a little tricky to use since the blocks can stop the projectiles. Since you're effectively invincible, you can just AFK boss fights, unless the boss has a time limit, of course. You might want to turn down the volume, though. Now, there is one hiccup to this strategy, and that's that it won't work on every boss. 3 in particular are immune to this. This setup gives normal iframes, which almost everything in the game uses. However, the Empress of Light and Moonlord have their own iframe timers specific to their attacks. This will not let you get a Terra Prisma, nor will it kill the Moonlord. Lava also has unique iframes, so an AFK farm around lava slimes, or Hellbats and Get Fixed Boy could lead to issues. Lastly, the Wall of Flesh will still grab you, kick you out of the invincibility machine, and deal damage with the tongue debuff when it passes you. But for pretty much anything else in the game, it is an incredibly broken option at your disposal. Like I said, the design described earlier only works on PC. For mobile and console, you'll want to build this instead. Pay attention to the platforms inside the honey, since it's quite easy to miss. You only need to hammer blocks in 2 directions, and you need to block swap all of the yellow blocks here with platforms. It's easier to build, but the downside is that it's more difficult to use and it can't be done AFK. To enter it, tap down on the top of it, don't hold down. Then press up. If nothing happens, move very slightly to the left and then try again. The positioning is pretty specific. Holding up will send you up and down the hoik and it'll trigger the invincibility. It's a bit more work to use and also requires more defense. 19 on Master Mode, 25 on Expert, and 37 on Classic. If you wanted to, you could make this version on PC as well, but it's just an inferior design. Again, I did not make these, I got these designs from Quasar over on Discord. Please go thank them if you get the chance.